Hi, welcome to another edition of Bison Break. I'm your host, Brendan Whitted, and really pleased to be spending time with the associate head coach of the women's basketball team, Coach Brian Davis. Welcome to the show. This is kind of a big time moment. I'm getting a chance to talk to you guys and having seen the success, having seen the most recent success of the women's program is a very big honor to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's an ultimate pleasure. Glad to be here and can't wait to let you guys know what we got going on.
Absolutely. Well. Let's start with what you guys have already accomplished this year. The first MEAC title for the women's program since 2001, and then went and doubled that success up with the first tournament win in program history. NCAA tournament win in program history. Just talk a little bit about how this all came together this year for you.
Yeah, this has been a long process for us. I know Coach Ty's going into her eighth season here, and I'm going into my sixth season here. And so you talk about a 5-year process since I've been here, as far as building a program, and Coach Ty putting in her standards and what she wants from her staff and her players, and what she wants this program to be. The ultimate goal was to win a championship every single year. Um, but sometimes it does take a process, and recruiting is very important. And I think that we've been able to build up recruiting classes that have been very productive over the last 3 or 4 years. And I think that's been the key to building up to where we got to the crescendo of winning a championship. Now, we almost won it the year before
Right.
with 7 freshmen.
Yeah.
We knew it was a very talented freshman class, and they battled through a COVID-ridden season and a lot of adversity academically, and going through online classes and a lot of adversity. And so the young ladies were steadfast and focused, and it kind of came to a peak this year. We knew going into it that we had a really good group. We knew that they had the potential to be great and to be champions, but it was upon them to focus and lock in on that. We knew as a coaching staff we're gonna be ready and get them ready. But they came mentally locked in about halfway through the season, and they all decided that they wanted to win it, and so they made the decision. And going into the tournament, um, they were really focused. I mean, we didn't really have to tell them anything. It was like boom, boom, boom. They were locked in. We didn't have to say much. Game plans were pretty much already in. At the end of the season, we played some of these teams before, and so they were ready to go. And so they went out there and they accomplished the goal and made history. I don't know whether but the last team to win a NCAA tournament game at a HBCU was 1983. So that's almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but that record's gone now.
Well, I mean, and thankfully for it, I want to ask you. You mentioned about how talented this team was. You all had 3 different players on recognized for all MEAC this year. Did you guys? You said the program had success in the previous year and coming very close to winning. Did you have that expectation kind of coming in where you were like, after these players have been in our program a little bit longer, this is a realistic opportunity for us to set some mixed history.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, combined with the older players that we had, and the way that they were developing, mixing in a young, talented group. We knew that if they were focused and they worked hard, that we were going to see some success. And the year before, we weren't sure we were going to make it to the championship, but we knew that we had the talent. We just didn't know if we had the experience overall to get there. They made it there, and we swung forward and didn't quite get to it. But we knew coming back that, we had a lot of the core coming back next year, and they were hungry. After taking that tough loss in the championship game, that was a lot of motivation for them coming into this year. And so we really didn't have to motivate them much because they saw what it felt like to lose a championship.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to get to another championship and lose it.
I want to ask a little bit about your personal journey and how you got here. You went to Tennessee Tech University, but you actually played football there. Is that correct?
I did. I was a football player at Tennessee Tech, but I actually started coaching when I was in high school.
Oh,
I actually
really?
started coaching rec league. I coached rec league in high school, and coaching's always been something that I've wanted to do. I've been mentoring, the youth for a long time. Boys and girls club. I always like to go to the inner cities to the kids that need it the most. I've always been somebody to go there to show them what a good role model was and what they could be. They didn't have to be where they are. They can be something better. And so, going into it, I've trained for a long time. I've coached for a long time, and so coaching was always something that I wanted to do. And coaches that coached me told me that I could be a good coach. And I've always studied the game. I always had a great understanding of the game of basketball. Played it most of my life, and to be able to continue to coach it now, I'm going into year 15 now. So I'm definitely blessed to be able to do it this long, for sure.
Do you think that your time as a football player helps inform your time now, be it on the court or off the court, in terms of relating with student athletes?
I definitely think it does. I actually know a lot what they're going through. I know that they go through different things right now with more social media. Facebook came out like after my freshman year of college.
Mm-hmm.
So I was familiar with social media and knew what it was, but now it's crazy with social media and things going on. So they have a lot of distractions, and so their college life is different. Their college life is different now. But I think a lot of my personality helps. I think I have a young spirit and can relate to the players and very understanding. Me also being a father, I have a daughter. And so they tell me all the time that I act like a dad, and I say because I am a dad. So there's no other way that I'm gonna act. I'm gonna be father-like, and so I'm like that around them. And I think a lot of them appreciate that because I fill in some gaps for them.
Well, you mentioned how different there's them being a student athlete is now from even when you were in school, not that long ago. I want to ask a little bit about what you thought about NIL and name, image, and likeness, and how you think that might change college sports on multiple levels.
Yeah, my initial opinion of NIL is that I love it for the players. I love the fact that they're going to be able to market themselves and make money for themselves and use their name, image, and likeness to produce income that they can use um, to further their experience, to have a better college experience, to put some money in their bank account even before they get out of college and get into their careers. And because most of them are not going to play professional sports, we know that. There's a small percentage that do. So for them to be able to make a name for themselves in college and to carry that forward even after college and into other careers and get that funding is super important. Now, when you talk about recruiting and things like that, it kind of hurts programs that can't provide as many opportunities for players because there are schools that market those NIL programs, and they do have boosters and things like that. People around the program that are offering NIL deals to players and incentives for them to go to those schools. And so, for a school like us and smaller schools, it's not always the case that we'll be able to provide those opportunities for players. But I think that being at Howard, being at the name recognition that Howard has, and the way that we're trending, and the school is trending in the right direction, and combine that with being in Washington D.C., I think that's a tremendous pull for players that want to come here because there's Fortune 500 companies right in our backyard, and so
that is really true.
And those companies want Howard students, and they really want Howard student athletes, and so. I think that, and some of our players do take advantage of those opportunities and have gotten NIL deals. And so, it's a double-edged sword, I think, at the end of the day. And so, but I would definitely like for our players to take full advantage of it. You know, I like to get a deal myself. You know, I want to
Right.
get, you know, I want to get something going on, a suit deal or something. You know, so my DMs are open for anybody that wants to put me on. So I'm great. I'm
Absolutely.
great in commercials, man. I'm
I
great.
was,
I'm
I was
great.
about to say, man, Pat Riley made quite a name for himself in those
Yeah.
nice Armani suits. So yeah, let's see if we can get Coach Davis something like that. I wanted to
Yeah,
ask
put me out there.
You mentioned the name recognition of Howard University, but you actually went to school in grad school at Hampton, and
Yes,
then
I did.
was assistant coach there. Talk about making that transition going from one rival school to another.
Yeah, people ask me all the time at this question, and you know, I have a great perspective on both because I spent a lot of time at both. So both are like family to me. Growing up in Huntsville, Alabama, I grew up around HBCUs. You know, Alabama A&M was like literally two blocks away from where I grew up, and so I used to hear the band playing in the background, and so HBCUs is just in me. It's just a love. I got tremendous love for it. You know, going to homecomings every year. You know, going to the Magic City Classic. You know, in Birmingham between Alabama State and Alabama A&M. If you haven't been, you should go. If you haven't been to the Magic City Classic,
I've only heard good things for real.
It is an event. You love it. You love it. But to answer your question, you know, I'm a realist at the end of the day. So people always ask me which one's the real HU. Well, Howard University was university first. So Howard is the real HU. That's just a fact. I mean, it's just a fact. You know, Hampton was Hampton Institute before it was university.
Right.
But you got two of the best HBCUs you could go to in this country. Both are tremendous centers of higher learning. You know, they put out CEOs left and right. People ask me which one's better. I said I really can't tell you which one is better. It's all about, especially when I talk to prospective students that that are considering both schools, because it's all about the vibe. I think Howard and Hampton are two different vibes. You know, Hampton's a smaller school, about half the size of Howard, so it's off by itself, secluded. It's not in a big city. So it's a little bit slower of a vibe. You know, if you're more of a quieter type of person, low key type of person, that might be the school for you. But Howard is more engaging. Howard is stimulating. Howard students are very artsy, very in tune with political events and things like that, social justice. They're in tune with what's going on in the world, and so so a little bit more hustle up here. And so if you somebody that want to be engaged and want to be challenged a little bit more, you probably want to go to Howard, because you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that because you never know what you're gonna see on this campus. You never know who you're gonna see, and so that's one of the exciting things about being here, even working here. I miss out on a lot of it because my players don't tell me until after it happens. And so I miss out on some stuff, but I do get to meet some very interesting people and some great people that come here. So I'm very thankful for that.
I can tell why you're such a good recruiter. Like that is a fantastic billboard for the university, and you all are a fantastic representation of us as well. As always, go to bisonexpress.org. This is how we are able to help fund the different programs at Howard. We love the fact that they are so accomplished. And so we want to make that even easier for them moving forward. Coach Dave, this has been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to see what y'all come up with for next year after the success you've had recently. So thank you so much for making time.
Yes, absolutely. And if anybody's interested in fundraising or donating to Howard University women's basketball, please go to our emails on the website, hubison.com. Reach out via email. We'll send you the link on how to donate. There's always ways that we can improve our current student athletes, way of life here at Howard. We're always trying to do more for them. So the more we get, the more we can do. And so that's what we try to do here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You have a fantastic day and look forward to seeing more from y'all.
Thank you very much. Go Bison.
Yes, sir.